Lads, we can't do it, lads. We can't do it. I'm just staring.
Oh, what are we going to do?
I don't want to go home.
Oh,
Fail. We're going to fail. I'm just going to be embarrassed in front of all of Who fandom. RTV might see this one day. You'll see our failure. The cloister bell's going as well. And there's milking and there's mildew in the magnet. Maybe I've been watching Ambrosani recently. I don't know.
hello,
Yes.
and welcome to Time Ram, the Doctor Who podcast in search for a proper introduction.
That's misplaced. Listeners, honestly, his levity is misplaced. This is going to be dreadful.
My name is Barry Williams, and with me I have Mr. Rupert Booth.
Hello.
And Mr. Paul Ferry.
Hello.
And in an ill-advised moment, we decided to do a podcast where we swap doctors and stories and attempt to get the story to work for the different doctor. So tonight we have, or today, whatever time it is you're listening to this.
It could be any time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Time has no meaning.
Time is fighting space at the moment anyway. We don't know what's going on.
Time is relative.
Yeah.
So we have Patrick Troughton in A Good Man Goes to War.
It's not fair.
What am I gonna do? I need to exit from the podcast.
So I'm just going to state my position now. It doesn't work, and the amount we'll have to change to make it work, in my opinion, makes it no longer the original episode.
Yeah.
I think
I've thought about this. I can't make it work. I'll try.
Yeah, I mean the problem we have is this is kind of the midpoint of a whole season's worth of ongoing plot lines.
This is
which has now been ripped from its original context and no longer makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. And it's part of an ongoing longer character arc of Amy and Rory, and their relationship to and with the Doctor. Yeah. Which we're somehow going to have to transpose to, who is it? Who's it going to be? Ben and Polly? Whatever happens, we're ending up with the hideous starting point that's never going to happen in the 60s of who got the companion up the duck. Was it Jamie? Oh dear. Was it Ben? Was it? Let's not even consider. It could have been the Doctor.
I think it could. I think it should be Salamander. Then the baby appears and it looks suspiciously like the Doctor.
No.
Oh my God.
I mean, I would put a vote in for putting it in the Underwater Menace slot, just simply because it's just going to be bonkers and not fit in with anything around it.
This is a very important story. This is probably this may be our earliest Sontaran story.
It may be our earliest River Song story.
It may be. Oh God, River. Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, I hadn't even thought about River.
Think on.
Until going back and watching it, I didn't realize how late in the story she comes into it. She really literally just comes in at the end.
Yeah.
Which
thank God. we need something to just come in at the end on this one. Oh, God. We're starting with the baby. We're starting with the companion having a baby. It doesn't work.
It can't be the companion, really, can it? I mean, it just can't be.
But it can't not be. That's what the story's about. So, all right, we invent random woman.
Well, as we go into the plot line,
let's do the plot line.
Yeah, we start with previously on.
What was the last episode of the Highlanders, wasn't it? Or whatever it's going to be.
And we get a series of flashbacks to the previous episode, which we haven't got here, where it's revealed that Amy is flesh. She's actually not there. She's been driving a flesh robot thing, Avatar, and she is in fact in a box, pregnant, being stared at by Madame Cavarian.
Well, we can lose all this.
Yeah, we can't use any of that.
or do we change it so that they try the time scanner, and instead of seeing a Menoptra claw, they see a woman in distress somewhere, and it's all, oh my word. But then we can't pilot the TARDIS anyway, so we can't go and save her. Because piloting the TARDIS, that's going to be a thing we come back to a lot. Yeah.
I think in that era, the baby has got to be, the product of third parties, within the respectable boundaries of wedlock.
Polly's not married, so, it's not an option.
Kit Pedler may have been involved in this story. It could be pervert scientists creating hyper babies.
Hyper babies.
Yeah.
So, I'm thinking that...
Oh, sorry, it was the hyper baby rather than the pervert scientist that was the thing. Okay.
Pervert babies, hyper scientists.
Let's not go anywhere near any of that.
How about Time Ram?
Time Ram? You couldn't do it in that old crock.
Wolf. Time Ram. Londoners.
I'm thinking that this is like the first 25 minutes of setup then that we've just had here.
I'm missing the underwater manic already. Well, no, surely this is that was the cliffhanger to the previous episode anyway. They leave Culloden or I don't know, Gallifrey or Skaro or wherever the hell it'll end up being, or the Flux, knowing our luck. We'll get a Flux for the Highlanders. The new Jamie's going to be Carvanista. That'll be great. All the way through his era as a dog,
like a Scotty dog.
The size of that thing. Now, don't stop it. Yeah,
a Scotty dog in a little tartan collar.
Yeah, sniffing the Dominators and things like that. Which I'm sure is a very specialist video you can buy somewhere. Right, I've lost my thread. I'm sorry, I've got derailed by sniffing Dominators. It happens.
So we need an introductory episode, really.
Yes.
Somebody come up with something.
All right, well, I've done the time scanner. What got anything better than
time scanner? So they see not a claw, but
a hyper baby, pregnant lady.
Baby.
It's like a really cheap version of 2001. It's like a baby in space, kind of.
Yeah.
Baby dangling on a string. Probably without any kind of harness because this is 1967 and the baby's bound. It's fine. We'll just finish the war. We're good.
Just being held up by a special effects man who's smoking a fag.
Smoking a fag, yeah. It's the parent. So actually that gets around an awful lot because in the Macroterra the TARDIS just happens to be landing there anyway. So there's no reason why it can't.
Yeah.
Except that that's not what happens in this at all.
Well, yeah, no.
Tell us what happens next. Go on, Baz.
What happens next is we find ourselves on Demon's Run, which is an asteroid. Amy's there with her baby, Melody Pond.
I thought about Demon's Run and what it might look like.
Cool.
Are you both familiar with the only surviving Out of This World episode, Little Lost Robot?
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think it looks like that set with all the robots in the big kind of main area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In 67, I think it'll look like that.
Okay, yeah. We can handle that. So maybe sort of random married woman
you don't care about and have no connection to. Yeah, it's having a baby. Hurrah! Drama of it.
Oh dear.
This used to be a macro claw, seriously, I'm craving the claw.
Yeah, Mr. Claw. She's getting threatened by a claw. There's a claw in it. She's getting threatened by a claw.
She's getting threatened by a claw. Oh, that's better.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, good. Right.
Yeah.
Who's the claw? Is it Madame Cavarian's claw?
Yeah. I don't know. Giving birth. I don't know.
She's a bit clawy, Madame Cavarian.
She gives birth and a claw comes down.
She gives birth to the claw?
No. The claw grabs the baby. The hyper baby. Yeah.
Right. So it's a hyper baby collection claw.
Yeah.
Right.
That's going to look mint in 1967. The baby's long since going to have been born. We're not going to see anything to do with the baby being born.
No, we're not. No.
It's in a cot. We don't need a claw.
Yeah.
It's about 5.
It's a 5-year-old playing an infant.
To be fair, I don't think we see any children in the 60s, do we?
No.
It just doesn't happen.
I think there might be a child in the Ark or something like that.
Possibly. They don't get any lines, though, do they?
No, well, in the 60s they shouldn't.
No.
The mind robber. They're not
Mind
small
robber.
kids.
Mind
but
robber.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Sylvester Latouzle was in that. I met Sylvester Latouzle once. When I was about 15, she was doing a play in Newcastle, so I went and door stopped her. And I said, "I've just seen The Mind Robber." And she went, "Blimey, that must have been made before you were born." And I went, "Yes!" Going all squeaky because I was excited because it was Sylvester Latouzle. And she was dead chuffed. And Patrick Troughton was lovely. And she had very fond memories of The Mind Robber. She was about 5.
Wow.
So there we are. There's first-hand proof that
she can play the baby
that had at least a line.
Yeah.
There you go. I stand corrected. Excellent.
Thank you, Doctor.
Meanwhile, 20,000 light years away,
Oh.
Rory rocks up on a Cyberman spaceship.
Cybermen, something a bit Troughton finally. Great.
Yes, absolutely. And he says,
I have a message and a question. A message from the Doctor and a question from me. Where is my wife?
And the Cybermen go,
What is the Doctor's message?
and all their spaceships blow up. And Rory says,
Would you like me to repeat the question?
which is, it's great. It's set up like a gag, isn't it? It's set up like a man goes into a pub gag, but that's the dramatic intro.
Yeah.
It really works.
Which is problematic. So we're putting this in place of the Underwater Menace. So this is the second cyber story after the 10th planet, in which, as far as we know, they're all destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Presumably, it's still the 10th planet costumes, therefore, because they're not going to build a new set of costumes for a throwaway scene with Ben going and saying, "Where's my wife?" Ben isn't married.
Ben's not married. It's got to be somebody else.
Where's my bird?
Where's my bird? Hey, where's Paul? Where's the Duchess? And then we do not know where your Duchess is. And then like loads of spaceships blow up because Patrick Troughton's doctors made that happen apparently. And it's just none of this, none of it.
Again, it's got to be somebody else, hasn't it? It's got to be random bloke.
Random bloke.
Random bloke.
So it's a random bloke going onto a Cyberman spaceship.
I don't fucking know.
And we're never going to see these Cybermen again. Yeah, these Cybermen have no other plot function.
No, they're not. They're not in this.
Because the Cybermen are a really well-established thing by the time it was made, but not well making it now. So this is really random. It's kind of like, let's go and ask the Cybermen where my bird is by this random bloke. It's just been a random woman, not even giving birth to a 5-year-old in a cot, probably sitting there going gurgle in a very posh accent. Yes, I return to my original point. This cannot be done. But let's carry on.
People are always giving birth to 5-year-olds in the 60s, weren't they?
Yeah, but they don't. Yeah, but then random blokes don't ask Cybermen about them. The Cybermen have only been in like 2 stories ago, and they were all destroyed. Or a scene. Where have the cyber ships come from? Don't say Mondas, because Mondas was destroyed.
Telos.
Telos.
Can I just say in the actual story, you know, he marches in there. Why don't they just shoot him?
Yeah.
Before he blows up their ships, why don't they just shoot him?
Why is it placed in Underwater Menace? If it's where the Faceless Ones is, at least we've had the moon base. And then there's a reason to go and ask them. Well, there's no reason, because why the fuck are the Cybermen gonna know? It's gonna give you a really blank look and go, have you not got a modus operandi, mate? We don't do babies, we do conversions, right? You are giving it the illogic. Get out of my face. You know, and that it's dear. It's only gonna get worse.
Yeah. And then we crash into titles. So we come back to Demon's Run, which has been on yellow alert for 3 weeks, and we get to meet some of the ancillary characters.
Is it Easy Yellow, like in the Wheel in Space? I love Easy Yellow.
Easy Yellow.
We've got an alert in Wheel in Space, which is kind of Easy Yellow, and what's his name goes, Easy Yellow? Wow. Watch episode 3. Easy Yellow. It's not much of an alert, is it? Let's take it easy, guys. It's Easy Yellow. Go moderate red next.
Well, they've been on easy yellow for 3 weeks.
Right.
That just sounds like a drug.
Like a bowel condition.
We might need drugs to get through this.
Way behind the curve, guys.
We get to meet some of the ancillary characters. So we get Lorna Bucket.
Yeah, good.
They're doing her sewing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And then those other characters were meeting her.
There's other characters. The thin, fat, gay, married Anglican Marines.
Well, they're out.
1967.
Yeah.
They're out in the 60s.
This isn't going to be happening.
No.
They may be the thin, fat Marines.
The thin, fat Marines.
As close as we're going to get. They ain't going to be Anglican. They are not going to be gay. Thus taking away a large chunk of their appeal because they're fairly nondescript.
Yeah.
They don't get a lot of lines or anything. I think they're in it quite briefly, to be fair.
Yeah.
You'd get in the 60s, what you'd get is you get the opposite of that. You get characters who were intended to be straight, actually played by incredibly camp actors.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Giving it to the butch.
Yeah.
So, okay. They have a chat with Lorna Bucket, who's met the Doctor, apparently. So that's William Hartnell.
Yeah.
In an unknown story. Like with Susan, probably in between the planet Esto and something else. Construction even happens in the Hartnell era, which it won't. It'll be a Matt Smith story.
Yeah. And then we cut to London in 1888, where we get to meet Jenny and Vash. Is that her name? Vash?
Oh, yes. Vastra, Madame Vastra.
Madame Vastra. That's it, Vastra.
The Silurians that we're introducing in this story as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good luck with that.
We get Warriors of the Hartnell, which would be quite fun. Good. This is going well. Yeah. Okay, so
You could always be a fish person instead of a Silurian.
how long is this story? Is this 6 episodes or 4?
Let's make it 4.
Or is it like 10? Can we just nick the War Games as episode budget? Because I mean, this is a lot to cram in at the moment.
Yeah.
This is an expensive one. There's a lot of sets to build here. There's a lot of locations.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awkward,
We haven't got a
isn't it?
base.
Mm.
Well, we have got Demon's Run, I suppose, but
Demon's Run. I mean, Demon's Run works.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can keep Demon's Run and the militia being there.
Yeah.
And we can keep the headless monks.
Yeah. And then we cut to the Battle of Zaruthstra in 4037 AD, and we meet Strax, a Sontaran nurse.
Series' first Sontaran.
Strax the nurse.
Representing and introducing the warmongering species Sontarans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might not be the first, though. We might end up with
He might not be
William Hartnell in the Sontaran experiment.
No, we'll get William Hartnell with the fucking 2 doctors is what we'll get. You bloody watch.
We'll get William Hartnell in the 2 doctors, the 3 doctors, and the 5 doctors, probably.
Yeah. And it'll be Peter Cushing. Because that's the only option we'll have. So tell us what happens to that Sontaran, Baz. Tell us what happens next.
Yeah. The Sontaran is serving a penance. And then the TARDIS turns up.
The TARDIS turns up.
Yeah.
The TARDIS turns up. Now here's where we're running into yet more problems.
Yeah. There's the rub. Yeah.
How does this happen?
Mm.
Why does it happen? Why is the Doctor so invested? Now, all right, I thought about how this happens, okay?
Okay.
In the Green Death, the Doctor literally wires in the coordinates to Metabedis 3 into the coordinate programmer in the TARDIS, so he can determine, so he must get there, right?
Mm-hmm.
He literally just hardwires it. Therefore, theoretically, you can do that if you really want to get somewhere. Hartnell probably just didn't do this for Ian and Barbara, or he found out the day after they left, and we literally gone home with the Dalek time machine. He goes, "Fuck! If I just hardwired her, damn it! Oh well, never mind." Let's have fun. But so I've imagined that Troughton hardwires it, because he's always fiddling about the console and taking it apart, pumping it, and doing all that. He's very technical in that way, actually, quite like Pertwee. But why the hell does he give a shit about this woman having a baby?
Why?
All the time?
Yeah, why? Why?
Yeah.
Going to that effort.
Yeah.
Who is she?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right, okay.
None of this works, does it?
No, I point one. I said right at the top, day one. I said.
Okay. And then we find ourselves in the storm cage with River Song breaking back in.
Oh, dear.
And she meets Rory and tells him this is the day that he finds out who she is and that she can't be involved.
Who's Rory?
Who is Rory?
All right, so which companion is this then? Is this Ben? We've got a male companion of the Doctor's turning up with Cybermen and now turning up in Storm. Which one is it? Is it Ben or Jamie? I think it's Ben.
It's got to be Ben.
Yeah.
I think he's still dressed as a Centurion for shits and giggles, for the lols, in a time round way. But so right, Ben. Okay, Ben dressed as a Centurion, going, "Where's my bird?" to this other bird, who may be the Doctor's bird.
You're just making this up as you go along.
Yep. But I do it brilliantly.
How about, okay, this is just a suggestion. How about episode 1? Polly is kidnapped by the Cybermen and Ben hijacks a Cyberman spaceship or something and goes after her. And he's...
How?
I don't know. And he's it's just a suggestion. And he's bouncing at the place trying to find out what's happened to her.
I may have just thought of something that could fix all of this.
Okay, go for it.
We just stopped recording.
No, because we're all going to have to go with it. Because I thought we're going to have to come up with some storyline to fit in this eventually, whether it's time rams or not. How about it'll turn out down the line that one of the headless monks is the Meddling Monk? Because there you've got a TARDIS that can go where you want it to.
Right, okay.
Maybe it's been a thing so big that the Doctor got in touch with his old, not really enemy.
Frenemy.
And it's Troughton now, so they're kind of, he's not being as stern as Hartnell, and they're both kind of being a bit bumbling together. But this wouldn't be revealed until the beginning of episode 3 to get them out of the episode 2 cliffhanger. So that would sort the TARDIS out, and so we could have the TARDIS turning up and picking up the Sontaran and all this sort of thing as a police box, but we don't realise it's the monk's TARDIS rather than the Doctor's.
Okay, I like that.
How's that work?
Yeah.
Actually, here's the thing. I don't know if this is intrinsically changing the story too much, but what if we just ditch the baby altogether and just have it being about them looking for Polly, who's being kidnapped?
Yeah, that would make more sense. Yeah,
because the baby storyline goes somewhere where we've no idea that it would be going.
Yeah. Or at the very least, maybe Polly meets this other pregnant woman or something where they're both prisoners or something like that.
I tell you what, why don't make what's her name? Bucket, the hyper baby mother.
Yeah.
So is this the Cybermen behind it then?
It's looking that way, isn't it?
Okay.
Wow, Cybermen and the Meddling Monk. That's
and the Sontarans and the Silurians. Yeah. And the militia force. What are the militia?
Maybe not the Sontarans and the Silurians. I don't know. Maybe.
What are the militia? What are the militia doing there then?
Yeah.
If the Cybermen are already, if the Cybermen have nicked the baby, why have militia nicked the baby?
Maybe the Cybermen are manipulating the militia.
I think we should ditch the Cybermen too.
Okay.
I think we should be given a proper story rather than being something that's already falling apart so bad. It's like you're doing open heart surgery and someone goes, "Can we put this on the heart in as well?" And the lab too. No, difficult enough.
Oh, go on! It's a good one. It's a shame to let it go to waste.
Just why have you got another heart from? What's wrong with you guys? Get your scrubs off. I think that's good touch.
Fuck me.
What happens next? Are we getting anywhere near an episode ending yet?
I mean, the other problem, of course, is in the original episode, the Doctor hasn't even turned up yet, which is so.
Well, so okay, episode 1, we've got the TARDIS doing all these things and Ben with it, but the Doctor isn't there, and that's another mystery. That's good. I like that.
Yeah, maybe the Doctor and Jamie disappear early on, and we're following Ben, maybe this other stuff, or maybe the Doctor's got another storyline going on that he's involved with.
Did Troughton ever have any Hartnell style weeks off? Where he's put under a tarpaulin.
Yes, he did, but they filmed him, or they had him as he was off from an episode of in Space, but he's unconscious in bed most of the time.
Yeah.
That was a way of augmenting. But it's just, I think it's nice because, this isn't long into there being a completely new Doctor. The audience is still a bit kind of, and now the Doctor is apparently absent, but the TARDIS is acting on his behalf. That's quite nice. That's quite. It's Julia Smith, isn't it, for doing the underwater men?
Yeah. Well, the Doctor being, typically mysterious at this point, isn't he? So you could imagine it.
Early Troughton's a lot more mercurial than he is later. A lot more untrustworthy. You're not quite,
Yeah.
So that's all quite good.
Yeah.
So we've got a woman who's had a baby and Polly who've been kidnapped by a militia for a reason.
A reason, yeah.
Yes.
Is it well? What is the reason in the finished thing? Let's get back to the plot, Baz?
Okay, yeah. So, and then we find ourselves in Dorian's place.
Your new thing, and then.
You're
giving that a stretch tonight.
It's a passing gimmick. We find ourselves in Dorian's boutique shop, wherever the fuck it is he lives, and he meets Madame Cravarian, and they talk about Demon's Run, where a good man goes to war. And then after she leaves, Dorian has expressed pity for the people that the Doctor's calling in to help him, and then of course the TARDIS turns up for him, and he's like, "Not me." Yeah. And then he gets taken off as well.
So this doesn't really fit because it's giving the Doctor this whole legendary status thing that just didn't exist.
Yeah.
Probably just be Dorian going, "Oh, best not." Do we need Dorian?
No, not really. He doesn't do much.
No, I don't think he does actually. No.
We don't actually need Silurians either, do we?
Probably live without him. We don't need Silurians. Strax doesn't do anything very Sontaran like. Strax dies and then doesn't. So yeah.
And then doesn't. Yeah. But like I say, if we take too much stuff out, it's not a good man goes to war anymore.
True.
So maybe we should just leave all these things in, and the monk can take them home afterwards.
Yeah.
The monk has sorted a lot. I don't know why the monk's obeying the Doctor. I think Madame Cravarian is as she is in the finished thing. Some kind of threat to Time Lords. Okay, one Time Lord in particular in this case, but something that in very oblique terms, the monk would kind of go, "Oh, they're very concerned about this. We need to deal with that. That's why I've been sent to help you."
I think we can keep in that Madame Cravarian's got some kind of animus with the Doctor, and maybe explore that later on.
Literally an animus, as in like massive thing from the web planet giving it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Let's bring back the animus. Yeah.
The animus. It's actually the animus is controlling.
It's not Strax. It's the animus.
We've got Sontarans, Silurians, the animus. Polly, not up the duff.
There's some Mothie and Menoptra in there, So.
And the monk. This is the best story ever. This is Ian Lloyd going, "Look, I tell you what, just in case they're not convinced about Patrick Troughton, we're going to bring a ton of stuff back from the Heart Reliever in one story, just to go, look, it's the same thing. Promise."
Yeah. We got the Monoids.
The monk recognized them, and the animals is going,
Sensorites.
Again, you thought you had destroyed me, but no, for I am the animus. No one can see my great animus hand acting on the podcast, which is a shame. It's all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's about as much as the animus did.
Could Madame Cravarian have one of those stainless steel wigs like the woman in the Space Pirate?
Space Pirate, see, damn, absolutely, she has that. She has one of them. Yeah. Stainless steel wig woman.
An eye patch.
This is great.
Yeah. And the Monoids.
No.
Yeah.
Why?
We were saying Monoids, Sensorites, we're bringing them all back.
Oh, I see. So we'll just replace all the sort of Sontarans and things with just pure Heartland era stuff.
Maybe the Monoids are behind it all. They could have Polly trapped in the security kitchen.
Bound to. Yep. Polly and Lorna Bucket.
Does anybody understand the security kitchen?
The security kitchen it's not much cooking goes on there for a start. And it's not terribly secure because it's just a door with a monoid on it. I mean, it could be any room.
Yeah, where should we lock these people? Yeah, we'll lock them in the place that's got all the knives.
Yeah. And the food, so they can control the food supply of the entire place and starve us and feed themselves. The monoids aren't very good. That's why the monoids failed. They're not very clever. They're a bit like the Pac-Leds in Next Gen. They're like, "Oh, Monoid's clever and strong. We built Ark. Now, invisible people. Oh, we are weak." And then he closes his mouth thing.
Yeah, we should bring the Visians as well. Yeah.
Well, that's easy enough to do. That's fine. I'm down with that. Okay, yeah, there's a visiting party for us as well. Good.
There he is.
He's gonna fucking have you. You didn't see that coming, did you? Oh my word. Etc.
That's the exciting thing. Nobody in the universe can do what we're doing.
Okay, yeah. So we come back to Demon's Run, and we have army guy. I think his name is like Colonel Manson, something like that. And he's having a meeting with the troops. This being the 60s, there'll be about 5 of them.
Yeah.
There is a chance of him actually being black, though.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah.
Yeah, who's the guy in the 10th Planet? He was good.
Earl Cameron.
Earl Cameron.
Yeah, Earl Cameron.
Earl Cameron would be great in that role.
It's more likely to be someone like General Cutler, like Robert Beatty, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
But,
depending on whereabouts in the 60s this was, you might not get away with calling him Manson.
67, so it'll be all right.
All right.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's pre-Manson.
Isn't it Manton? Is it Manton?
Is it Manton?
I don't know.
It's Manton. I could be wrong. I think it's Manton.
I didn't look at the credits for this one. I'm just trying to interpret people's names from the dialogue, and the dialogue wasn't terribly helpful in this one. It's got to be said. So yeah, we got the Colonel. Let's just call him the Colonel.
Yeah.
And he's having a meeting with the troops, and he's talking about the Doctor, and he's saying he is not a god. In the meantime, Lorna Bucket's talking to Amy. There's quite a nice little scene where she's trying to comfort her, and she's made a little silk sort of handkerchief thing.
Yeah.
Well, this is probably the other way around. This is Polly probably making a silk handkerchief for Lorna Bucket. She's born with a baby.
Yeah.
And Polly's good at comforting and making coffee and doing woman things.
She just makes her a cup of coffee.
She's making
coffee. Yeah. Brad's name on it.
Lots of coffee. I mean, Lorna Bucket's got the shakes, you know. It's all right.
I think we've all got the shakes. The plotline certainly has.
Dear. So anyway, meanwhile, the Colonel is carrying on with his motivational speech.
Oh yeah.
He
And
tells
he's
them,
using the headless monks as well.
that's right. He says the papal mainframe herself has given permission to reveal the monks' non-heads. And he pulls back their hoods, and obviously they haven't got heads, they got this kind of little knot that's been tied off on their neck.
Yeah.
I don't think we'd see that.
Probably not.
I think they'd just be I think they'd be quite creepy. I think they'd just stay hooded, like Zephon, you know, nothing inside.
Yeah.
So like Zephon, it would look like a man with a black sock over his head. But I was just thinking the papal mainframe, one, it wouldn't be papal, but two, I bet it's there in the corner and it's got spinning things and it goes ding, and he goes, it's in position.
It's very Moffat, isn't it? All these guys, they're not soldiers, they're clerics, and it's the papal mainframe and all that. I'm not quite sure. It's sort of world building, but it doesn't seem to be any kind of purpose behind it. It's weird.
I hate all that, to be honest. I never liked that.
Isn't it all sort of vaguely tied in Matt Smith's final one? That's all churchy and papal, and
is it?
Aren't they connected to that?
There's so much in Matt Smith's final one, I can't remember it all.
Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter for this because they're not going to be religious in any way at all. They're not.
They're really not. No. So he's pulling back the hoods of these monks, and of course, the last one isn't a monk; it's the Doctor. There he is.
And this is perfect Troughton. I can totally see this.
Yeah.
I just can't see why. There's no reason at all why he's there or doing any of this. But I suppose Polly. But, And does the other monk reveal himself at the same time?
The meddling monk.
The meddling monk. I've forgotten. Yeah, the meddling monk. Yeah, one of them should be. They should actually be the meddling monk. Yeah.
No, we've got to get the Doctor in eventually.
Yeah.
I was thinking before, this works great as a meddling monk story. We should leave the Doctor out of it completely and have a meddling monk. You know, a middling man goes to war. And about bumbles through the other side.
It's not the monks. It's Ben, the monk, and the Doctor.
And the Doctor.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And Jamie.
Excellent. What is Jamie doing? Is Jamie here as well?
I think Jamie got bumped on the head, so he's actually in the hospital somewhere with a bandage on.
Oh, right, okay.
For the first sort of couple of episodes.
The Phantom Piper.
Oh, Christ.
Oh, he's back.
Sporran's gone weak. Sorry, Scotland.
Oh, Effie.
Whack.
Bring the tortoise.
Yeah.
Very Faye when he's ill, isn't he? Oh dear.
I'm dying.
Oh no.
So Ben, actually, is there any reason why JB can't be there as a monk as well?
Yeah.
Play more, and you're sort of shouting Craig Antur and jumping into the clerics and starting to buff them all up.
Well, yeah, this is the point where the Doctor turns the soldiers and the monks on each other. And they start fighting each other.
Except they don't, because the monks are that lot.
Yeah.
Plus, the Colonel is clever enough to tell these army girls to disarm themselves.
Yeah.
But this turns out not to be clever, because then the Silurians and the Jadoon turn up.
The
And
Jadoon!
The Jadoon.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
The fucking Jadoon.
What the shit? Oh, maybe that's the Monoids then.
That's the Monoids, yeah.
Yeah, with the heat prod.
Yeah. So it's not, it's the Monoids and the Sensorites turn up, and the Menoptra.
Of course, you realise all of these are a chance to end up in the Capaldi era. So.
The hard alien police types of the Hartnell era, yeah. The Sensorites and the Monoids.
Going.
Sorry, which one was that?
That was kind of Menoptra, I think. But
there's a Menoptra there. Why not? Did the Cybermen still explain to Ben where his not wife was? Hell, when's the Macra going to make an appearance?
So do you think prior to the Doctor putting on a monk's robe, he just met one of the monks and went, "Oh, I would like a robe like that"?
Well, I think prior to the Doctor putting on a monk's robe, he took a massive tab of LSD. That's the only reason this can possibly have happened. Just it doesn't work.
Yeah. Kavarian, Madame Kavarian decides to take the baby.
What's her motivation? Do we know why she's doing all this?
I still think she's after the Doctor, and it just hasn't been explained yet. I think that's okay. My justification.
Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Right. But the Doctor's one step ahead in Machiavellian Troughton-esque way, and sort of prepared all this by talking to the monk. It'll turn out to be
on the space-time telegraph. Yeah.
Oh, is he watching? I bet he's going to be watching them all battling at the end and going, the final end.
Yeah.
And Ben's going to be going, I've got that bird up the duff. And pulling them and going, coffee! Jamie, as we know, began to go,
oh no. I don't like coffee.
It's not a very big one at all now.
Oh, please be quiet.
Madame Kavarian attempts to escape with the baby, but then Rory turns up with the pirates from the other story.
The smugglers.
The smugglers.
Captain Pike. And Gaptooth. Those stalwarts returning characters of the Hartnell era.
In Jamaica. Oh, he didn't get killed, did he?
Having said that, is it the Hartnell era? I don't know.
No, that could be anywhere.
Yeah.
So he turns up with pirate. No, he doesn't. No, he just doesn't. That doesn't need to happen.
It's a daft cameo that wouldn't happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Lesterson, maybe.
Lesterson.
Unless we don't start with Power of the Dark, which we won't inevitably.
No.
So let's just not have that happen.
Yeah. We get the big scene with the Doctor talking.
I'd love to see Gaptooth fighting the Animus. I'm not sure we can take it.
So it seems like the bad guys have lost. The Doctor talks to the Colonel, calls him Colonel, run away.
I can believe this bit for Troughton.
Yeah.
I was thinking it's like the very calm bit at the end of Enemy of the World, where he confronts Salamander with the TARDIS and we're going to put you outside. End of. It's very matter of fact. And they're going to call you Colonel, run away.
Yeah.
It's all right. I can live with that. And nothing else in the episode, but that's cool.
We get a scene where Rory brings the baby to Amy. The Doctor comes in to see them, and it turns out that he speaks baby.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
What? I thought Madame Kavarian had nicked the baby.
No, he captures her and brings her back. She's in prison at the moment.
Right. Why did she nick the baby? She's trying to capture the Doctor. Because this baby isn't connected to the Doctor anymore. This baby isn't River. Or is it?
He just likes babies.
Is it?
I don't know.
Well, in the original story, the baby is meant to be turned into a weapon, which will eventually defeat the Doctor.
Yeah. Oh dear, none of this will make sense. There's no logical reason for her to nick the baby in this. I mean, turning it into a weapon, it's got nothing to do with grabbing the Doctor.
Just a lure to bring the Doctor there because she knows that he's not going to.
But that's what they've got Polly for.
Okay.
Strax isn't even going to do a gag about tits because it's 1967.
Well, assuming that maybe the baby could turn out to be River Song, maybe it was conceived on the Monk's TARDIS.
There's time meddling, and then there's time meddling. What are you implying?
No hanky panky in the Monk's TARDIS. Okay.
So on the bucket was what, the Monk's companion, and there was, I don't know, a Harry Sullivan type as well. He had a male companion as well for a bit in The Adventures of the Monk. That's a great spin-off series that should have happened. And they shagged. And that's going to create a baby who's going to become the Doctor's nemesis stroke wife. It is again, you know, remember the operation with the extra heart? Oh dear.
Anyway,
Oh.
the army leaves. The Doctor brings out his cot.
What?
His what?
His cot. C-O-T. Cot. He brings out his cot. You're both 12.
It did sound a bit like. Anyway, yeah. With everything else happening in this episode, yeah, why not? Why not? You know, maybe it's a claw or a macra. Maybe it's a chumbly. I don't know. Oh dear.
I think we've broke this episode.
We're so screwed. Yeah.
This is what they were like in rehearsal. Let's say, I mean, if they can make penis guides out of dossiers, then you know,
yeah,
if we can make chumblies phallic. Podcast where the chumblies are phallic.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, let's not. It'll only get worse. Bring us to order.
They got the cot there. And there's a bit of an info dump about how long Amy's been flesh, that sort of thing, basically.
None of this is happening. He's not bringing the cot out even, is he?
Yeah. No. Yeah, it turns out that Melody Pond is human plus.
Oh yeah, the kid's called Melody Pond.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, which everyone's shrugging at.
Have to be Melody Bucket now, wouldn't she?
She would, and that'll be complicated because you can put water in a bucket.
The only water in the forest is the bucket.
It's in the bucket, yeah. It's actually a desert.
That makes sense.
We just call it a forest to make ourselves feel better. I'm a desert girl, me. What the Doctor wanted in the desert. He was miles away, but I could see him because he said, hello, Doctor. And he went.
Oh dear. Yes.
Ben goes, what are you saying? He got you up the cuff. Because he's obsessed with that. That's all he wants to know about.
This is the scene where the Doctor works out that Melody was conceived in the TARDIS.
Has the monk left now?
No, he's still there, isn't he?
Right. I don't think he's contributing very much.
He's building the cot.
He's as baffled as the rest of us.
I would have thought once he's done his bit, which was apparently basically to recruit people and then stand there dressed as a monk, he's just right, well, this is dangerous, I'm off, bye, and he's off.
But he would, wouldn't he? Yeah, yeah.
But he would, and it's totally in character.
Yeah.
His only real function in being there is that he's got a working TARDIS and the Doctor hasn't.
So then the headless monks attack, basically. Dorian disappears at this point. There's a big fight, and then Melody kind of melts away from Amy's arms, and it turns out that she was a flesh copy as well. And there's quite an emotional scene where Drax dies, and he says he's had a good life. He's nearly 12, which is a nice bit of Sontaran world building. I quite like that.
So this is a monoid.
This is a monoid. He's also 12.
Oh no, he's the pirate, isn't he? Yeah, the Dradoon were Monoids and Sensorites. Yeah.
Yeah. So this, I don't know what he is. He's Menoptra.
No, I like the idea of a touching death scene with the Monoids, reaching down with the eye, lolling around in the mouth.
Holding up his speech box.
Holding up his speech box during his last moment, yeah. Then just closing it as he dies.
And doing exaggerated hand gestures.
Yeah, all this sort of bit. Yeah. And holding him, kind of go, what can I do, mate? Fucking dying.
Lorna also dies.
Like Danny Dyer in my version.
He's the prototype Danny Dyer, isn't he? He's
He's fucking slags.
Lorna also dies. The Doctor doesn't remember her. And then River Song turns up.
Why don't we make Lorna Dione the foul princess? So at least it is someone, since Innes Lloyd and Jerry Davis are going, let's put everything in from previous seasons. One thing from a season,
Yeah.
Two things if it's the animals. Or maybe not. I found Dione's ring recently, Dione's ring was sold. She wore a ring in the Daleks, and it's been sold at auction recently. Like the earliest surviving Who prop? Maybe it is.
Yeah. Is Virginia Weatherall still around?
She is. Is she the earliest surviving Who prop? Maybe she is. Who knows? Actually, fair play to William Russell for getting to 97.
Yeah.
I hope he gets to 100. That'd be great.
That'd be fantastic. Yeah.
Fair play to him. It won't be for him. I mean, he'll be in tenner pants and stuff, but it'll be great for us.
So Big Finish will still be working him.
Doesn't do Big Finish.
I think so. Does he still? I'm not sure.
I don't know if he's done one for a few years. I mean, he might be a bit rickety now. Yeah.
Like Jamie. I'm a wee bit rickety now.
I'm dying.
Where's my politics? That was a real 1%.
Keeper of the legacy of Rassilon. Defender of the laws of time. Protector of Gallifrey.
Yeah, so River Song. Who's River Song in this?
Who's playing her, you mean?
Yeah, who's playing it?
Caroline Munro.
I think I suggested Fenella Fielding before, but you had a suggestion, didn't you? You said...
my partner came up with a suggestion of Diana Rigg, which would also really work. Yeah.
We've got Fenella Fielding, Diana Rigg. I will therefore throw in Hattie Jakes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you can really imagine Troughton flirting with any of them. Really.
Any of them? All of them.
Yeah.
Well, Hattie Jakes would be all over him and he'd be trying to fend her off, wouldn't he?
Yeah. I can imagine Hattie Jakes giving it the hello sweetie bit and spoilers and all that. But also Diana Rigg and also Fenella Fielding. I don't know. Well, we've got many incarnations of River.
Yeah.
Whoever we don't select can always come back as a future River.
Maybe Fenella Fielding could be Madame Cavarian.
Too nice.
Yeah.
Madame Cavarian would be some ice maiden, like Stephanie Bidmead, actually.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, we're going to get Galaxy 4 as a David Tennant story. So it's not going to be her in it. So let's have Stephanie Bidmead as Madame Cavarian.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh, a Chumbly. I haven't seen a Chumbly for ages. That was my terrible David Tennant impression.
He hasn't seen them at all because this is the first Chumbly and last Chumbly story.
Yes.
Well, he has seen them because they've been in The Good Man Goes to War. So.
Along with everything else.
It's a callback to a story that hasn't even been made yet.
That's Time Ram.
This is not Time Ram. This is Time Disease. This is Time Filth. This is to Time Ram what like pictures in the 70s annuals are. This is Tom Baker in a kind of like flannel thing with a jumper on, and the companion looks like Caroline Munro. That's what this is. This is not right.
Yeah. I guess it is the same, isn't it, with Underwater Menace, written by Jeffrey Orme, whose knowledge of sci-fi apparently extends as far as the 1930s, Buck Rogers film serials.
It is at least a coherent story, which is more than what we're replacing it with, however.
Yeah.
Fewer Sontarans, I admit, less of the animus. No gap tooth, but still.
I mean, we are doing a Good Man Goes to War and Injustice because that's such a well-constructed episode.
Magnificent.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In context.
Yeah.
But entirely tied to that era, though, unfortunately.
And to the episodes preceding it.
Yeah.
It really is. And to the ones coming after it.
Yeah.
So how did it end then?
Well, it's revealed around this point that in the Gamma Forest, where Lorna Bucket comes from,
desert.
Doctor means mighty warrior.
Oh, Troughton's loving that.
Yeah.
Troughton's all preening and going, me, really? Oh,
yeah. So River Song kind of shows the Doctor the cot, and he has a revelation, and then he's off. This is when we learn that the only water in the forest is the river. Melody Bond equals River Song.
Yeah.
So this is where I had my idea, which is maybe there is a 60s precedent in the Ark where the TARDIS randomly turns up in the same spot several hundred years later after about 2 episodes. So maybe they get in the TARDIS, the Doctor's confused, disturbed by this turn of events, and then the next place they find themselves is the Gamma Forest, where we meet a young Lorna Bucket. And we kind of do the story in reverse. We find out where this has all come from.
Very nice. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That's one of the few things that works on this.
Yeah.
Paul, it's over to you then. He's done that, which sorts the ending out. I did the monks, and that sorts the TARDIS out. Come on.
What?
Fix the rest of it.
Tell us what's going on, Paul.
Come on, Paul, you can do it. We've got your back, mate. From a distance, admittedly, but we've got your back.
I have no idea.
So maybe the back half of the story, maybe 2 whole episodes could be in the Gamma Forest.
No, not with all the rest of that. I think it's a nice coda.
Yeah. Okay.
You have that as the final, 10 minutes of episode 4.
Yeah.
They go to the Gamma Desert.
Gamma Desert, yeah. And we got a bit of explanation to get through here. We find out why Madame Kavarian hates the Doctor so much, maybe.
Yeah. Why is that? Because he's been around all that. He's going to be around like for 3 years by this point. It's not like he's got a huge history behind him.
You could have that thing of like the Doctor sort of pretending that he doesn't know who Lorna is, but Jamie's all kind of, oh, but Doctor, that's that lassie.
Yeah, that would completely happen.
And he's like shushing him up again.
Jamie's making it really obvious.
Jamie, no, Jamie.
But it's that lassie.
Then going, well, when does someone get her up the duff? And the Doctor gives them a little homily about how everything's relative and does a little speech about time. It's all quite nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be nice to see where Ben and Lorna disappear for a bit and then come back.
Goes back to the TARDIS and they're all inside watching the time scanner and going.
Ollie's making some coffee.
And then a big chorus.
The end.
To get us the fuck out of this.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Right. Well, it doesn't work then, does it?
No, it works.
No, not especially.
By far the least of any of the ones we've done so far.
Yeah. So we can take the bare bones of it. We can take, there's a baby.
Yeah.
And Polly's killed. Presumably that happens at the end of the previous story, the Highlanders. And for some reason, the Doctor at the end of the night kind of goes, I know, Ben, we'll find the Cybermen. They'll be able to tell us what's going on. And then I like the fact you don't see the Doctor for a while in our version and don't know what's going on. I like the fact you'd have the monk in it. Because I always wanted the monk to come back again. I mean, they brought him back after the plan. But he'd have been great opposite Troughton.
Maybe the monk did something unforgivable in the Gamma Forest, and they all think it's the Doctor.
Yeah.
Well, I think that this is the very first. Well, this is the natural continuation of the time med that we learn a little tiny bit more about the Doctor. If the monk who has agency, that the Doctor hasn't, in terms of he can manipulate his TARDIS, he can program the TARDIS properly and go where he needs to. Kind of almost recruits the Doctor along with everyone else. Look, this has to be done. There's someone. Look, this is a warning. They're after you. Someone's after you. I've been sent to help you against my will, but never mind. Like the Master in the Five Doctors, but without the animosity. So yeah, it's just the actual plot line that doesn't fit in any way whatsoever and cannot possibly ever work.
Yeah,
which is a bummer.
Yeah, because there's about 2% of it which isn't continuity, and everything else is continuity, and it's tortuous
and
to try.
Even that 2%, even that 2% doesn't fit into the 60s.
Yeah.
The enspleement, then. Enspleement. Is our version better?
No. I don't think there's any world in which it's better.
But in fairness, our version could never be better.
No.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to run into this again, particularly when we get more into the more interconnected new series stories.
Yeah,
we're going to run into this a lot. I hadn't thought of this at the beginning. It was all going to be fun and giggles, wasn't it? You know, Magic Man and Master Mandragora. That's a lot. But no. Now it's become this.
Thing is, basically, you know, you can twist it whichever way you want. This story would never have happened in that period, because if this script had landed on Jerry Davis' desk, he'd have been like, no, we're not doing this.
Well, unless it is like an Underwater Menace situation where he's desperate, he's got no scripts, and he just start filming next week.
That's the only way. That's
the only way. So, this is bonkers. It makes no sense.
Well,
but
let's do it.
He's desperately going through Donald Tosh's drawer, and there's a wine glass in there with a bit of crusted red wine in it and a script called "A Good Man Goes to War," which isn't even for Doctor Who. It's a pitch for Out of the Unknown,
or Out of This World, bringing us back to Out of This World,
or Out of This World
with Boris Karloff.
But that's a mess. That's a real mess. I think that's not Time Ram. I think the two chances are not correctly aligned.
You've been listening to Time Fail. So
Time Fail. This is Time Fail, not Ram.
You should just have a sound effect on the end that goes, "Was that a success or a failure?"
Marks out of 10
for our version.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't got a plot.
2.
2 and a bit, depending on who we end up casting as Madame Kavarian.
Yeah, I'd say 2.
Yeah.
But what I was thinking is perhaps our listener.
Hello, listener. We love you.
Yes. Hello, listener.
Wait, he left.
Looking in the cupboard as well, but we know it's the only way you will listen.
Perhaps our listener
he's back.
could write in and let us know if they have any better ways in which A Good Man Goes to War could work with Patrick Troughton.
Yes. If you have any complaints about this episode of Time Ram, please send them to the usual address.
And we will listen, and I promise at some point we'll come and clean out your slop bucket. I better get the random number generator up, hadn't I?
Yeah.
We get another one like this, I'm going to cry.
Dr. One!
Yay!
Dr. One!
We've got William Hartnell.
No more Troughton. Thank God.
Excellent. Oh, that's really William Hartnell. Right, now what's the number of stories again?
Should go up to 296.
296. So William Hartnell in story 137.
137.
And so we all need to dash around trying to find out what that is. Colin Baker, isn't it? Is it Colin Baker Davidson?
Colin Baker. Attack of the Cybermen.
Oh! I like it.
So the first cyber story is the one that all the cyber lore in it then.
Yeah.
But immediately it works so much better than The Good Man Goes to War with Troughton.
Well, yeah, it couldn't
so
work
anything,
any worse.
you know.
It really couldn't work any worse. No, I can see this is the War Machine, isn't it? This is what this is like. Yeah.
Yeah.
With some kind of very 60s gangsters in it.
60s gangsters. Yeah.
Hartnell again. I shall defeat you.
Hartnell having an awful lot to do. Hartnell won't be happy about this story.
Yeah.
He's only got one companion as well.
Yeah. He's not in episodes 2 and 3, so that's awkward.
What era is? When is there any slot where he's only got one companion?
At the beginning of the time, he's only got
the Massacre.
Yeah.
Massacre.
War Machine. Actually, War Machine's Dodo.
Well, not effectively. You've got menopause. Yeah, really, but yeah.
Well, we can realistic compounds, I guess, but
that's going to be so much nicer,
so much easier.
Thank God for that. No, at the Attack of the Cybermen. That's the first time anyone's ever said that.
You have struggled through an episode of Time Ram.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking with it.
If you'd like to follow us on Twitter, we can be found at #TimeRam. I'm on there as @BazTimeRam. Rupert is @RupertBooth, and Paul is @Paul38. I should also say thanks to Ben Jones for providing our music. We can also be found on Facebook and our own website, timeram.com. We even have an email address for people who still use email, info@timeram.com. If you would like to support the production costs of making this podcast, do please consider taking out a subscription with us at Patreon. Another way to support the show would be to leave us a review. You can leave a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcast from.
Yeah, we'll see you again with William Hartnell in Attack of the Cybermen.
Absolutely.
Bye.